At supper that night, Daddy had some big surprises for everyone. The next day, they were going to go to the city to see the Christmas tree, that humongous tree that was put up every year. It was about 1 zillion feet tall. It was decorated with 1 zillion lights. Daddy said it was the biggest Christmas tree in the world. The other surprise was that after they saw the tree, they were going to go to the biggest toy store in the world. And then a third surprise was that on Christmas Eve, the whole family would work at church, bringing food and toys to homeless people. Katie wasn't too excited about the church part. But she couldn't wait to see the tree and that huge toy store. When it was time for bed, she was so excited she could hardly sleep. So Daddy brought warm milk up to her and read her 2 extra stories. By the time he was finished, Katie felt really sleepy. "Night, Toots," Daddy said, using his favorite pet name for her. "See you in the morning." "Night, Daddy," she said. But when Daddy was gone, Katie wasn't sleepy anymore. She was wide awake. She couldn't stop thinking about the trip to the city and the Christmas tree and the toy store. Maybe for Christmas, she'd ask for real spy stuff. She also couldn't stop thinking about Santa. And worrying about her big worry. She sighed and sat up. She looked out the window. It was still snowing. She went over to the window. The Katie could barely snow was getting really deep. And there, all around the tree in front, one see the footprints. She had forgotten to try and figure them out before. She had had too much fun popping out and scaring Daddy. For a long while, Katie watched from the window. Maybe she'd see the mystery guy. Or somebody going to the garage. But nothing moved in the snow, nothing but more snow falling. Katie went back to bed. She looked at her clock. 10 o'clock. It was very quiet in the house, except for the sound of the TV somewhere downstairs. She lay back on her pillow. She closed her eyes. She opened her eyes. She stared at the ceiling. She sat up. "I can't sleep," she said. She said it out loud. She picked up Big Bear. "Can you sleep?" she asked him. She made him shake his head no. "Me neither," she said. She held him up to her face. "Come on," she whispered to him. "Come with me." She took Big Bear to the window with her. Together they looked out at the mystery footprints. She frowned. Did they lead to the garage? Maybe. She leaned closer to the window to see better. But she couldn't tell from there. She squinched up her eyes, but she still couldn't see for sure. Secrets. There were Christmas secrets hidden in the garage. She hoped. And she was a spy. She and Obi. They should try to figure out the secrets. "Right, Big Bear," she said. Big Bear nodded. Katie tiptoed over to her closet. She pulled on her snow pants. She pulled on her snowsuit jacket. Then she put on boots, but she didn't bother with socks. She looked at Big Bear. "Want to come?" she said. She made him shake his head no. She put him down on the bed and tucked him in. Then she tiptoed down the hall to Obi's room. She went over to his bed and bent over. He was tucked down under his covers, all covered up, head and all. Katie wondered how he could breathe. He always slept that way. Katie knew why, too. It was because it kept away the scary monsters. That's what Obi thought. "Obi," she whispered. "Wake up." He didn't move. Quietly, Katie pulled back the covers. "Obi," she said. He just breathed a big breath. She bent over and blew on his face. "Stop it," he said. really loud. Hush up, she said. She held very still, wondering if Mom or Daddy had heard. She listened for footsteps. Nothing. Just the TV downstairs. She tried again. Obi, she said. She put a finger on his lips to remind him. Please wake up. We've got to do something. What? Obi said. He didn't sit up. He didn't open his eyes, either. It's important, Katie said. Obi sighed. He sat up. What? He said, super grumpy. He eyes sounded as mean as a monster. Want to go out and spy? See if something's in the garage? Katie said. Obi squinched up his eyes. He looked at his little alarm clock. It's 10 o'clock, he said. After, even. I know, Katie said. Do you want to go or not? Obi shook his head. He lay back down. No, he said. But Obi. Katie said. We're spies. Not for Christmas, Obi said. Why not? Katie said. Obi didn't answer. Katie bent over and blew on his face again. Obi rubbed his face. Stop it, he said. Because you're supposed to be good, that's why. What if Santa saw you? He pulled the covers around his neck and turned over. He disappeared into his covers. Katie made a face at Obi's back. Silly, she said. Santa doesn't have a crystal ball, you know. She hoped.